Oh, shoot. My phone's about to die.
Probably go get your charger, man.
The last one I had blew up on me. Good afternoon, football fans, and thank you so much for joining us for this divisional round preview episode of the Trajan Temple Sportcast. I am your host, professional wrestler and Kansas City Chiefs fanatic, Christian Temple, joined alongside, as always, by my good friend, the Terrible Towel. Terrible Towel's gone missing. Hey, there it is. Terrible Towel twirling,
It's
Trajan. How's it going this fine week, sir?
really weird not having any skin in the game right now. It's kind of weird.
Well, to be fair, this time last year you were on the final episode of I Don't Want to Talk About It.
It's leaving.
Well, luckily you don't have to worry about that. And if only we knew a certain Chargers fan that would be willing to come onto the show and not want to
He's
talk
scared.
about what happened to his team last week.
He's scared.
And
That was
also, if only there was a certain Giants fan that would come onto the show and talk about how absolutely happy and glad he was for his team with one of the better upsets of the weekend, taking down the Minnesota Vikings. If only we knew a certain guy that would come on the show and just absolutely let us know how he really feels, you know?
I really don't think he's a fan. Maybe he's a poser. Maybe he's a Jets fan. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Shout out to Trajan's brother, and I also shout out to Skate 3 Tommy. We do plan on having them on the show sometime here pretty soon. They both, for one reason or another, some personal, some just embarrassing, were not able to make it on the show this week. But we plan on having them on for a post-mortem of the season once we get to the end of the postseason. But yes, what a wild card weekend it was.
It was
Um,
wild.
there were not surprising victories. There were some amazing upsets. There was amazing comebacks. There were close but no cigars. I mean, you had all the storylines this week. What
Oh,
a
yeah.
what a way to start the postseason.
Oh man. Yeah, no, it's quite exciting. It's just what the NFL wants. Games come down to the last minutes pretty much in every single game except a certain Monday night football game.
Whew, whew.
Ooh,
Well,
ooh,
we'll
ooh.
we'll get to that one very soon, but we shall start with the Saturday afternoon game. Starting off with the San Francisco 49ers taking care of business at home against the wild card Seattle Seahawks. And you really can't fault the Seahawks too much. They kept it very respectable, very competitive, all the way up until the third quarter, it seemed like.
Yeah.
There was one fateful play that ultimately doomed their run in the playoffs. One being Geno Smith fumble late in the third quarter.
Yeah, it totally switched the dynamics of the game because there for a while, Seahawks were leading. I mean, it almost looked like first half, maybe the 49ers are going to blow this game.
It was looking pretty sketchy there for the 49ers there, but yeah, as we mentioned, the third quarter fumble by Geno Smith that ultimately was the momentum shifter. There were a few of those. There were a few turnovers this weekend that turned the momentum, but this was definitely the
There's
first and
a
most.
lot of
There
turnovers this week.
was, there really was. So starting off, 49ers go out to a 10 to nothing lead. Probably
Yeah.
exactly what we expected. Kenneth Walker gets a rushing touchdown, brings it back within three. Another field goal by Robbie Gould, and then Geno Smith with a deep pass to DK Metcalf takes the lead with 5 minutes left in the first half, and you kind of had the feeling there. This is going to be a game.
Yep, exactly. You got everything going and score 17 points in the second quarter, and it's like, oh man, this Seahawks team might surprise us all.
Yeah,
And
they go.
even into the third quarter, I mean, they kept it close. It's just everything fell apart in the fourth.
hmm all the momentum in the world because they got the field goal at the very last second at halftime, and they get the ball back. and driving down the field. And then, like I said, when that turnover happened, Brock Purdy gets a rushing touchdown. He gets another pass touchdown. Gets another pass touchdown. And by the time it was 38-17, you just knew it was that the dream was ruined for Seattle, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it's the result that everyone expected, just unsuspecting how it came about.
Absolutely. But yes, congratulations to the 49ers. They are moving on to the next round. And it's, got to give credit where credit's due. Mr. Irrelevant has become pretty relevant in these playoffs already. What a game he had. Um,
He might be earning a starter position.
Absolutely. Finishing off 18 of 30 for 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, QBR of 137.5. But it also helps when you have a certain Christian McCaffrey in the backfield with 119 rushing yards himself.
It does help. I will say that.
All right. Well, that was the obvious game. Now we'll go to the one Saturday night that was not so obvious, but one of the most entertaining second halves I can remember in the playoffs. I won't say it was more entertaining than the Chiefs-Bills game from last year, because that's got to be on the list of one of the greatest playoff games of all time. But this is number 3 in greatest comebacks of all time, and we are talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars coming back from a 27-0 deficit over the Los Angeles Chargers, a game-winning last-second field goal. They take down the Chargers 31-30. Oh my God.
The game, I mean, it was a tale of two halves. I mean, it couldn't have started worse for the Jags. I turned this game off. I mean, you got Trevor Lawrence, he goes out there, he throws 4 picks. I mean, first half, it looked bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm not spending more time on this. Honey, let's watch James Bond. Man, that was bad.
Do you remember what I texted you at halftime of that game?
I can't remember.
I said, wouldn't it be funny if the Chargers blew this lead? Just out of jest.
That is right.
Just out of jest. It's like, what if the Chargers find a way to blow this lead? And you know what? It's even worse. 4 interceptions, yeah, that's terrible. But it went from bad to worse. Because what are the odds that you punt the ball way up into the air and it comes down right on the head of one of the defenders, fumble, and then prime field position for the Chargers to score more points? Yeah. I mean, what the absolute dumb luck for the Chargers in that first half. But ultimately, you got to give credit to Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. They put their heads together, they kept their heads down, and they made sure that this game did not truly get out of reach. I will say, though, it was hilarious. My wife and I did watch the whole game, and when the Chargers had a chance to add more points in the fourth quarter, I said, it's like, watch, he's going to hook this one, isn't he? And I swear, it looks like it's going straight, and then it's like a giant gust of wind just took that to the left, and it's no good. And I look up, I'm like, oh my God, the Jags are going to pull this off. They are going to pull this off. And the defense holds strong for them. Absolutely incredible effort. In their last 10 minutes, they go down the field, they get the touchdown, they get the 2-point conversion, to go up, and then the field goal to win the game, the last split second. Absolutely incredible to watch.
The crazy thing is the Chargers had it in their hands at the end. All they had to do is convert, and they could not do it.
They just could not do it. Justin Herbert, you can't really put it all on him because himself, he had a decent game. Gerald Everett was their number 1 receiver, 109 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Keenan Allen got involved. Josh Palmer. He was spreading the ball around. He was doing everything he was supposed to. And it's so weird looking at Trevor Lawrence's stats and seeing 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions side by side of each other. This is the first time this happened in the playoffs since 2020 when Ben Roethlisberger did against the Browns. He has a QBR. Yeah, Justin Herbert had a better QBR than Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence got the win in this one. Absolutely astonishing.
I really do appreciate you putting that stat in there too about Ben Roethlisberger. I do appreciate that.
Well, I know exactly what you're going to say about the Jaguars later on in this episode, so I gotta get my jabs in while I can.
That in there real quick.
All right. Yes, the Los Angeles Chargers, to absolutely no one's surprise, has been eliminated. The Chargers going to Charger. I'll tell you about another team that almost suffered the same fate as the Chargers, but it would have been even worse because it would have been to a third string quarterback.
Jeez,
A third string quarterback. And of course, we're talking about Skylar Thompson from our home state of Kansas State University. Went to school there. He's actually from the Kansas City, Missouri area is where he's actually originally from. But yes, the Buffalo Bills having a little bit of trouble against the Miami Dolphins. They escape out of the wild card round, final score of 34-31. You brought up a good point though when we were talking about this earlier. It doesn't matter who's a quarterback. When it's a division rival and it's the playoffs, you're going to get someone's best, no matter what.
Yeah, the coaching staff definitely put Skylar Thompson in a position to win. If only they could get the play calls out there a little faster, maybe no delay of games would happen. But yeah, no, it looked like the Bills came in and just thought they were going to roll all over them. And when they went up 14-0, they just believed that this game was over. And Miami, they came back. They kept pushing through and made it interesting.
One of the talking points in the regular season was how well is Josh Allen going to protect the ball? Because there were some games that were either not necessarily they were led to losses, but came close to losses. And of course, there were a couple games where he did lose because of turnovers. How will he protect the ball in the playoffs? And in this game, those 2 interceptions were nearly costly. I mean, the Dolphins' defense has been, not great, not terrible. But in this game, the defense stepped up in big ways, more than once.
Howard.
More than once. Skylar Thompson only completing 18 out of 45 attempts. It was kind of sad to watch because he's like, no matter how good the Dolphins defense did, the offense just couldn't really get off the ground. It was yeah, man, I can only imagine. This is probably how the Broncos defense felt with Russell Wilson here. They do all the work. They salvage, some kind of lead, some kind of semblance of a close game, and then the offense just can't put the hammer down. And if Tua was in, maybe it's a different story. We don't know.
Most accurate quarterback.
Exactly.
I think, I mean, Tua. Well, regular season when he was hitting his stride, Tua, I think wins this game. Tua got messed up in the head because of concussions. I don't know. He wasn't looking too hot when he was playing after that. So, I just don't know. I really think it was more have to do with the Buffalo's mindset going into this game, and Miami just putting up a strong game.
Absolutely. No, I could definitely believe that scenario too. But nonetheless, the Buffalo Bills will have a home game this week against the Cincinnati Bengals in the divisional round, in which you'll, pit 2 star quarterbacks. You got Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow. Something's got to give this week. We were unable to see a winner the last time these 2 teams faced. This week, there needs to be a winner. No 2 ways about it. We are going to find out who's going to be moving on to the AFC Championship game, whether it's against the Chiefs or whether it's against the Jaguars. I don't know. We'll see. But also moving on to the divisional round, another upset. And, I have to be honest, this one was a little more predictable than per se the Dolphins over the Bills or the Chargers over the Jaguars or Seattle over San Francisco. Yeah, the Giants, or excuse me, rather the Vikings, they kind of just fell apart there a little bit, didn't they? They just nothing was really going for them.
I guess you could say that. I mean, it's the same story they've had all season. They are every single game, I'm pretty sure, was one score games, which is the same thing scenario here. Their defense in every metric was last. I mean, Daniel Jones, he threw over them for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns,
Mm-hmm.
and then he goes and runs another 78 yards on them. They just, I mean, it doesn't look like Saquon Barkley had a great game until you put into his receiving yards too. I mean, they just made it look easy. They made it look too easy.
It was interesting because also keep in mind you had two first year head coaches going head to head, and I don't think anyone would have thought that McConnell would have turned this franchise around as
No.
quickly as he did and led them to a division title. And I think even less that Dable was able to turn the Giants into a playoff team this quickly after the last few years, how things have gone for them too. But yeah, you're right. Daniel Jones, a QBR of 123, 24 out of 35 for 300 yards. And even if you look at Kirk Cousins, his stats are
31 for 39.
31 39, 233, 273 yards and 2 touchdowns. Neither quarterback really made huge mistakes. The one mistake you can really talk about Kirk Cousins for was the check down on 4th and 8.
When
And
you had
you can debate the receiver he was throwing it to just had to make one guy miss and it would have been first down. I get it.
And he also had 129 yards for the
Yes.
game
Yes.
already.
He was reliable all game.
Yeah.
But man, when you got a situation where you got Justin Jefferson, you got Adam Thielen, you got Dalvin Cook in the backfield, and you couldn't get just 8 yards on the fourth down. And you settled for the check down. It's that leaves me with more questions than answers. Honestly, just how you let your season end like that. But I'm sure Packers, Bears, and Lions fans were laughing hysterically though.
I think they were. And, the thing is, the Vikings are going to be dangerous for years to come. And, I mean, they just start putting, if they draft right on the defense or pick up in free agency someone that's a difference maker on their defense,
Mm-hmm.
they could be a really serious threat because all they relied on this year is their offense, literally.
I
And
I believe they've already made a change. Have they fired their defensive coordinator?
there was talks about it, but I didn't see if it went through. I mean, it's
Okay,
possible.
maybe not. Maybe that's what I saw. Then I don't know if it was officially done yet or not. Too, who knows? But could happen here very very soon. We've seen some coaching changes already, and we can usually sometimes see coaching changes 2 weeks after the Super Bowl for all we know.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of positions that are going to be opening up and everything like that. So we'll see. There's still going to be some off-season drama, but yeah, no, Minnesota Vikings. If you're a Vikings fan, this one probably hurt.
It definitely would, I would say. All right. Well, something else that almost hurt, and actually there was a couple plays that hurt to watch. Um, okay, I won't say another third string quarterback because it was actually a second string quarterback that stepped in on this one. But
Yeah,
the Cincinnati Bengals escape. They escape with a
yes,
24-17 victory over a Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens. This game, you want to talk about going down to the wire and one play basically deciding this game. This is it. Because the
yep,
Ravens had the opportunity to put the dagger in the back. And then I just still can't wrap my head around Tyler Huntley leaping from the 4 yard line. He was like 2 yards short, trying to reach out
Man.
over the goal line. Ball predictably gets knocked out right into the hands of Sam Hubbard, runs it all the way back for what would be the game winning touchdown. I mean, maybe Browns fans will think that karma for that Will Hill blocked field goal that got ran back for the touchdown here a few years ago. Maybe that's the karma that finally caught up with them on that.
Maybe.
Um, I just cannot believe how that one singular play was the true difference in that. I mean, Joe Burrow, 23 out of 32 for only 200 yards, one touchdown. I mean, QBR was great, but their offense was not all that great in this game,
I think the
truthfully.
biggest thing was their run game could not get off.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Mixon held only to 39 yards. And Perrine, their backup, who usually puts up some good yards
Yes.
behind Joe Mixon, he only got 3 yards. I mean, 2 attempts. One could argue maybe they went away from the run too fast. But gosh, I mean, uh, Joe Burrow did not look good. I mean, stats wise, his QBR, like you said, but he this was not the Cincinnati Bengals of last year.
He was able to get Jamar Chase going, obviously, with an almost 100-yard performance by him, including a touchdown. But that was really about the only bright spot about that offense. I mean, Hundley for 2 touchdowns and 226 yards, he wasn't much better, but that's still your backup quarterback. And
Yeah.
behind J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, they were able to get their running game going, decently well. But I think when you and I talked about this earlier, why not give the ball to Dobbins or why not give the ball to Gus Edwards? Why try to a risky play like that to dive over the goal line with the ball in front of
Or
you?
heck, do Wildcat to Mark Andrews.
There you go. Oh, hell.
You want to get creative.
I'm sure his arm span would probably make the distance there.
Bottom line is you put the ball in your star's hands, and unfortunately, no disrespect to Tyler Huntley, you're not the star.
Mm-mm.
And Lamar possibly played his last year as a Raven.
That's you mentioned off-season drama for another game earlier, and that's something we'll definitely be having to keep tabs on during the off-season here. Also, will our offensive coordinator Greg Roman, will he still be employed this year? It sounds like a lot of fans are ready for him to go the way of a certain Matt Canada. Hopefully, you can only hope. Uh, are you still
One
saying your
thing
bedtime prayers and asking for that?
I really don't know. It's so confusing because our offense started doing better at the end. I don't know. I'm confused right now.
Are you really gonna give him one more chance? One last shot of redemption?
I just don't know who we get.
That's fair.
That's the problem. I just
That
don't know who we get.
that is fair, I suppose. That's always the unknown when you get rid of someone that you know has been there. Bring someone in that's unknown. It's a it's kind of
Yeah.
a gamble. But speaking of more
Oh,
off season, we might have some more off season drama for a certain goat known as Tom Brady, because as I called previously, the Dallas Cowboys go down to Raymond James and take care of business 31-14. And the 14 points there is kind of deceiving because
garbage.
this game was all Dallas. I
Yes.
mean, offense, defense, and even the special teams. Even the special teams was all Dallas here.
For the briefest of moments in that first quarter,
Mhm,
it looked like it was going to be a shootout. Dak was kind of getting hurried,
mhm.
and then Tom Brady they get the 6 points, they go down the field. Tom Brady red zone interception, his first as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Unbelievable, right?
I was actually watching the Manning cast for this one, and it was pretty enjoyable there, but gosh, yeah, no, I mean, 66 pass attempts by Tom Brady. A 45-year-old man throwing 66 times. That's not a recipe for success.
Mm-mm-mm. Nope.
And like they were joking about, Leonard Fournette, they kept him out these last few games to keep him, healthy,
And they use
fresh.
him. They use him 5 times.
5 times. Five. He's going to be the most fresh player for the next season of their
Yeah,
team.
exactly. That's exactly
It,
right.
it's just this year was not Tampa Bay's year. I mean, the only reason they're there is because they're in a weak division.
Oh.
So, yeah, no. I mean,
Well,
yeah,
where was
no,
where was the Delaware Clams when you needed them? Little
pretty much.
little Gridiron Heights reference there. But tell you someone that wasn't looking bad. Dak Prescott.
Oh, yep.
Excellent game for him. 25 out of 33, 305 yards and 4 touchdowns. If you want to talk about a statement in the playoffs, this is it. This is how you do it, and that's how you say, how about them Cowboys? How about that Dak Prescott? Tony Pollard, 77 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 27 yards in his own right. Dak Prescott, 24 yards in his own right rushing. They kept, when they got the ball, they rarely made mistakes. They were very efficient on first down and second down. They kept the ball moving down. The only thing I guess you can point at is Mayhar, the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys. I cannot believe he missed 4 extra points in a single game. That's almost unheard of, but I guess you got to kind of make things exciting, entertaining when the Buccaneers are just kind of floundering off to the side there, not really doing a whole lot. You can only poke them with the
Yeah.
stick so many times and say do something, but ultimately they didn't really show any fight in there when it was all said and done.
Yeah, no. I, that was a bad night for him. Hopefully, he has better nights, but yeah, no. What a bore of a Monday night game. Unless you're a
Unbelievable.
Cowboys fan.
That it was the best night ever, right?
Oh yeah.
Best night ever. Their first road playoff win since 1993. And Tom Brady's first loss to the Cowboys in his entire 23-year career. Oh, man. Yeah, you just can't write it any better, can you, NFL script writers, huh? Um, well, that is the recap for Wild Card Weekend, and it is now time for the, I guess, the playoff rendition of locks, upsets, and high rollers. And as you can see right by the score here, bam, I didn't really take that much more of a lead. I just was perfect in my team picks there. I guess the 49ers, Jaguars, Buffalo, Minnesota, Cincinnati, and Dallas. I was perfect for the week on that, but I wasn't quite so perfect on the over-unders. You did have the advantage on me in that category. So my hat's off to you, sir, for guessing correctly on that.
Yeah, I should not have picked the Vikings, and I definitely shouldn't have picked Tampa Bay, and probably should not have picked the Chargers. So, yeah, no, good job.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Alrighty. Well, now it is time to do the same thing. We will pick the winners of the divisional round games. Also, we shall pick the over and under for the guesses through Vegas here. Starting off with the Saturday afternoon game, the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. So what is the over-under slated to be this week?
So 52 and a half
Mm-hmm.
for the Chiefs Jags.
Alrighty. Well, I think we are
Who you
going
got?
to. I think we're gonna probably most likely, and I just don't understand how we would do so. We are probably going to disagree on who we think is going to win this week. I am going with the team that I'm representing right now, the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid, coming off a bye week, has been excellent. I know there's the narrative that Trevor Lawrence has never lost a game on Saturday, but let's be honest, he's only played one Saturday game in the NFL, so truthfully, he's really just 1-0 on Saturdays.
Yeah, I mean, he probably had a better record in college than Mahomes.
This is true. This is very
Yep.
true. And hey, this is a battle between two coaches who both have a Lombardi in their pocket here too. So there you go. You have two excellent coaches. You have the student versus the teacher. Doug Peterson learning, of course, under the Andy Reid coaching tree. The Jaguars, when they played them in the regular season, they tried to pull some tricks out of the book here, so they're probably gonna have to dig a little deeper in the bag of magic tricks. But when you've got Mahomes magic, it's kind of hard to top that kind of a show. So yeah, give me the Chiefs this week over Jacksonville at home.
Yes, I mean, Chiefs will be tough to beat this week. And for that reason, I am going with the Jags. It's the obvious choice. I mean, how great would it be for certain team to lose to the Jags in the divisional round?
Divisional round, yep.
Vengeance might be mine. Maybe I'm hoping too much, but yeah. Jags.
I never thought I'd see the day where a man like yourself is cheering for a team that had Blake Bortles as their as their quarterback. Never.
No, we got Trevor Lawrence, who is a golden god.
That had Blake Bortles as their quarterback is what I mean.
That had, I guess, yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, who you got for the over under? What are you sticking with?
We're going over.
Going over, and you know what?
Just 4 points.
I would agree with that. So I will go over on my end as well. I could see this being a 31 to actually what was the over under? You said 42.5?
52.5.
52.5. Okay, so I could see this actually being a 38 to 35 or something like that. Both.
I can see this being just like the Chargers game. Maybe the Chiefs jump out 27 points ahead.
No, we only do that in the championship game now. Ow, my pride. Alrighty. Next we have the Philadelphia Eagles playing host to their division rival of the New York Giants. And you know what? I think this is where the good times end. I think this is where the bad times roll for the New York Giants, just because of Daniel Jones. I don't know if he could string together two great performances like that, and also against that Philly defense, and also how high-flying that Eagles offense is. If it's firing at all cylinders, I just don't see New York keeping up with them. I'm going Philly in this one.
Well, Giants, they have a good defense. They also have a good rushing attack, especially with their QB. Hurts is banged up. I feel like they're a team on fire right now. And for all those reasons, I'm picking the Eagles.
What a swerve. What a swerve there at the end.
I had to give them some credit.
Well played, sir. Well played.
I can't go. I mean, obviously, you can't. I mean, there's question marks with Hurts. I will not deny that. But Hurts, A.J. Brown connection with Smith over there, too. I mean, arguably, they have two number ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the Eagles got this one.
I would say so too. What do we got for the over/under this week?
Over/under surprisingly is 48.5.
48.5. Okay, very interesting.
So what you got on this?
You know what? I'm going to be a risk taker on this one. I'm going to say it is a surprisingly defensive struggle with Philly taking it towards the end. I'm going to go under.
Going under.
Yes.
Ooh. So yes. Yeah, I'm going over.
That's probably a safe bet, but like I said, I made some gambles last week and they paid off in my favor. I did get a 1 point advantage over you. So there we go. Next we have the Cincinnati Bengals going on the road against the Buffalo Bills. And as we mentioned earlier, for both games, neither of these teams looked their best. They kind of stumbled through both games. still getting a victory, but this is the 2 o'clock game on Sunday afternoon. It is at Buffalo. Um, you know what? I'm gonna take another risk here. I am gonna take the road team because elsewise I'd have the home team sweeping. This is my road upset. I'm going Cincinnati getting the win over Buffalo because I truly believed before the injury to Damar Hamlin, I thought the Bengals were the better team starting out of the gate, and I think they want the opportunity to prove that. Even though that last one was at Cincinnati, I think they want to prove themselves on the road. So I'm going Cincy.
Yeah, I mean, you take DeMar Hamlin's injury out of the equation there. It's tragic, but the Bengals kind of got gypped out of this one. I mean, they might have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. And so, but I think ultimately you're at the Bills Stadium. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be too much of an advantage in this situation with that emotion going. I think the Bills are going to take it.
And you know what? It's going to be interesting. Like I said, this is going to be the game to watch. For divisional weekend. I mean, we talked about how last year's divisional game with the Chiefs and the Bills was one of the greatest games of all time. We're slated to maybe see something pretty special with these two teams, especially these two quarterbacks going head to head. So, but only one can advance. So get
Yep.
ready for some fun football to watch, or it could just be an absolute dud. Both quarterbacks look terrible, and it just comes
Nine
down
to
to
six trouble.
exactly. Yeah, it could be one of the worst overhyped games in history. Who knows how that's going to happen? Over under. What you got this week?
48 and a half again.
Alrighty.
Uh,
Ah,
I'm choosing the over on this one.
all right. You know what? Oh man. Do we have any idea what the weather's going to be like yet in Buffalo?
I want to say I heard it was going to be mild, but I'll give you the benefit of looking it up right now.
All right, let's check it out here.
Ooh,
There we
showers,
go.
chance of rain 80. Wait, no.
It's on Sunday,
Oh,
Sunday the 22nd.
snow in the forecast.
Snow in the forecast. Alrighty. Well, you know what? I was kind of thinking about gambling again, but that gives me another good reason. I'm going under.
Going under.
I'm
All
going under this
right.
one. Alrighty. Alrighty. And last but not least, we got the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? How are they going to go down to San Francisco? Sunday Night Football, 5:30 p.m. I just have a hard time with that offense and that defense of 49ers. I think they're gonna take care of business and dash the hopes of Cowboys fans for the second year in a row.
You know, could this be, dare I say, the Cowboys' year?
Oh,
Could
oh,
it be? I mean, they've been calling it for years now. Um, but
yeah, they have.
but they got an easy one to start out with Tom Brady.
hmm
I say 49ers take this. They're again on the road. Their path is all the way through on the road.
hmm
49ers just look like the complete team. I say they're a little bit better than the Eagles right now with the question marks on Hurts.
Could make that
Uh,
argument absolutely.
yeah, 49ers all the way.
49ers all the way. All right, what do we got over under this week?
So this is what throws me off. The over under with these two high flying teams is 45 and a half. It's
45
the
and a half.
lowest of the slate of games.
I think this is the game we're both going to guess matching all the way through. So this one might be a wash. But
Yeah.
considering that I am up by 7 points right now, tell me what you're gonna pick.
Well, I mean, you gotta take the over. I mean, this almost seems like that it's too good to be true for betting odds. That's not going to be it. But considering that both teams just have to score a little over 20 points. I think it's going to be over.
You know what? Hold on here. What was the score last year for San Fran and Dallas 2021? What was that score last year?
Did they even make it last year? Yeah, they did.
It was 23-17, which is a 40 points. So it is
but
very.
They didn't have Purdy.
They did not have Brady. You're right. You're right. But you know what? On that respect, I will continue my trend of picking the opposite of you just to give you an opportunity. I'm going under. And that way it'd be more hilarious if I somehow get that right.
You know what my strategy was on this one?
What's that?
Just choose over.
Just choose over. Just choose over, baby.
Hopefully my Jags pick helps me out a little bit. I had to do something a little spicy.
Yeah, for the second week in a row, we picked two teams against each other, so that'll make things interesting. And then the over unders, we've been different on 3 out of the 4. So yeah, this is your opportunity. If you can sweep me this week, then you would take the lead. Even if the Chiefs win and you get the other ones right, you still have a chance to take the lead over me. So I'll let you have that as long as my Chiefs win. You can tie me up, and then we'll actually have some fun with the conference championships and the Super Bowl here.
See, the funny thing is, I was just about to say, I'm fine with losing if the Jags win.
Man, we are really the opposite on everything, aren't we? Oh my goodness.
We are.
All righty. Well, give some closing thoughts here too. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs are back in the divisional round, taking on a team that showed a lot of fight, a lot of fire against one of our division rivals. And going into last week, I did say I would rather, between the two, play the Jaguars over the Chargers because it's easier to beat a team twice in 1 year than it is to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. And I truly believe as long as the Chiefs, don't get in their own way. I mean, even last time when they played the Jags in the regular season, there was a fumble by Pacheco. There was a fumble by Jody Fortson that kept the Jags alive in the game and kept it closer until the very end when the Chiefs finally broke away. So if Kansas City can keep the mistakes to a minimum, I think they will. They'll run away with this one, and move on to face the winner of the Bills versus Bengals. And the scenario there: Bengals win, Chiefs win. AFC Championship game goes through Arrowhead for the 5th straight year. If Buffalo wins, Chiefs win, going down to the Dome down in Atlanta, Georgia, the Falcons' home field. So a lot of circumstances, a lot of stuff to play for this week. So only thing we can hope and say is go Chiefs, go, take down the Jags, and let's get back to the championship game for the 5th straight year. Any closing thoughts for this week's episode, Trajan?
So this is normally where I'd say who my opponent is this week and what time they're playing and all that good stuff.
Your opponent this week plays at 3:30 at Arrowhead Stadium. Let's be honest here. That's who your opponent is this week.
I'm officially a Jags fan.
God.
And if the Chiefs win, I'm whoever they play against fan. Anyone but Chiefs. I'd say even the Cowboys over Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Wow! Oh,
yes.
Man. You heard it here first.
The hate is real.
Wow, it is. Man, that Mariah Carey song is just, there's just no coming back from that for me, is there? There's no...
Every time I have a headache. I don't know why.
Oh my goodness. Well, on that note, oh man, we had a longer episode this week, but thank you everybody so much for sticking around with us all through this season. We look forward to seeing you guys next week for the divisional round recap. Click like if you liked the video, click subscribe if you really enjoyed it, tell all of your friends, leave a comment down below who you got this week, who's moving on to the conference championship games. We'd love to hear you. But on that note, this is Temple and Trajan signing off. We'll see you next week.